Good evening, ladies. Synergy ladies. How are you doing all?
Good evening. Doing great, Saladin. How are you?
I'm fine. How is Fran doing?
I'm fine. Good evening, Aladdin. Good evening, Agarika. How are you?
Good.
Good, we all good.
Thank
We
you.
always
Yeah.
have a happy face, smiley face. That's the key to being, it doesn't matter how the weather is outside. Yeah, it's all depends. It's all about
Yeah,
inside.
lovely weather today. Yes,
It's a
though
lovely
it has
weather.
been a bit of rainy, sunny, just mixture.
Yeah. It's actually, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we could feel the feeling of summer coming in. It's lovely warm weather and stuff like that. So, Alnelica's just gone here. She's back online. Now, in the last week, we talked about happiness and, no, sorry, it's not happiness, laughter. Laughter. Did
Yeah.
we not talk about laughing? And how the benefits of laughter and all that we discussed, and people have really found it really useful listening to our show. So we come on every week. Today we're on a Thursday, but we were planning to go on a Monday. So we will be posting that as well to people out there. So we've got different topics that will really help people if they come and listen. It's only for half an hour. We would love people to give their feedback on the show as well. So today we're going to talk about sadness. Now, I know it sounds like a negative topic because we ladies are very positive and we want to talk about positivity, but sadness is a really good one to talk about because we all go through some form of sadness in our lives, and understanding a wee bit more about it and how to overcome and use certain techniques to feel better. So sadness is like, we all children go through it, everybody in our lives, and something that we should maybe understand more about it and how we could overcome sadness. So, Annalika, I'm going to go with you first about sadness. What's your kind of definition of sadness? What would you say if someone said they're sad? What are they? What does it come to your mind?
Well, what comes to my mind is an emotion. As often we express when we are feeling a bit, disadvantaged or a bit of loss, grief. When we feel like we've lost something, or we're grieving over something. So it comes from time to time. I think everyone goes through that emotion from time to time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'll call it. Emotion that we express when we're feeling some as disadvantage, or mostly loss, and or we are grieving, or yeah, things like that.
Yeah, you're right. It's certain things that happens in our lives that trigger that kind of emotions, and it doesn't feel good. What about yourself, Fran? What if you want to add anything to that? You want to put, yeah.
Yeah, she's right. It's an emotion that people can feel at certain times, and that as well is a natural reaction that people can actually react to due to something had happened, maybe something they didn't expect. Yeah, especially when they are heartbroken about something or face a kind of disappointment or something, yeah, you were really looking forward to, and all of a sudden the thing just dropped out. Yeah, so and especially people feel sad if they have also lost a loved one. Maybe they just lost their job or they were made redundant. People feel sad in certain things, so naturally they will just react to it. Yeah, it's an emotion.
Yes, emotions, and as you mentioned, is certain things may happen in lives, but we have to also look at it's different from depression. sadness is depression. People might get confused, but depression is a long-term thing that is constantly, that people feel that emotions for a very, very long time and end up, some people getting medication for it and they can't come out of it. Whereas sadness is a short period that something might happen in our lives and we go through that, and we manage to get out of it. It's not like it's emotion, but it's not like a deep-rooted one that kind of affects us for a long term. So, which is really good. We don't want to be in that state, but we all go through a form of sadness in our lives, and you you can't always be happy. That's the thing, unfortunately. But it does teach us quite a few things. It's one of the emotions that as human beings we have to go through. What about the symptoms of sadness? How would you know if somebody was sad? How would you recognize that? So, Fran, I go with you with that. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if somebody was sad, the person will be moody. You will see the person reaction, just like what I said before, that is a natural reaction. The person will be moody. The person might not even know that he or she is just looking moody. And again, the person will be confused. Yes, because sadness will just block somewhere in your brain, and the person will be confused. Sometimes, even the depression you spoke about, sadness can lead to it as well. Because if, for example, if someone lost someone, if someone is being bereaved, or somebody just made redundant from their job, and the person kept thinking about that thing, thinking about it, that is how it will continue. The person will go down to depression. So sadness can actually lead to that depression. Yeah. So that's another symptom of it. The person, when people are sad, they begin to withdraw themselves from others. They begin to withdraw themselves from any activity. Such things that give them joy, they will no longer find joy in those things. They will be withdrawing themselves. So by doing, you'll be able to observe, you'll be able to know who is sad. Then if you are an observant person and your colleague, all of a sudden you notice your colleague or your friend or your wife or your husband, even your child, withdraw from things, just watch it and try to follow it up. Don't just let it be like that, because those are the symptoms you have to see, and you know that people are sad. Then sometimes when people are sad, you see it on their face as well. Like when we spoke about happiness, you can no longer notice the happiness in them. Even when they try to smile, it will be like a fake, artificial smile, because they are really sad.
Thank you for that, Fran. Annalika, what other things that what symptoms that people kind of give out if they're sad? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, Fran has been very extensive in her explanation. Yeah, exactly. You can't smile when you're feeling that sadness. If the smile just goes away, I think that will be the first sign that your smile is just gone. Except you are conscious of it and you want to now practice. Remember what we called the last time, laughter therapy. You can get back your smile by intentionally practicing, getting back your smile and laughing. But I think one of the first signs you will see is that facial expression, that there's no more smile. There's a sad face. Even the children, we know a happy face and a sad face. A sad face is just gone. The life is just gone, and people would usually just be like, are you okay? You look pale. Because sometimes when it could be, it depends on the context of the sadness, isn't it? Because if the sadness is from something that is not so serious, you may easily not understand they are really sad. But when it's something very serious, especially when it comes to like heartbreak, or when it comes to love and all that, depending on what happens in that context, depending on how, if it was violent or if it was a scary situation. It could come with all sorts of maybe anxiety and panicking or crying, very uncontrollable cry, or wailing, or just being quiet. So I think everybody will have their own ways of expressing that feeling of sadness. But one thing I know for sure is that the smile will be gone. You will instantly know that this person is not all right. What's the matter? Yeah.
You're right. As the first thing, as Annalika and Fran were mentioning, a few things is it's expression on the face, and that's how we recognize if somebody's happy or they're sad. I mean, other things like, I think, insomnia. People can't sleep if they're sad. Certain things may happen. They may be feeling they can't have a proper night's sleep or wake up night. Possibly lack of motivation. They can't do things. They feel they don't want to do things. And things like fatigue, being tired, tired because they can't sleep, but they're just generally draining of energy, because when we're sad, our energy level does go down, our immune system goes down, and sometimes sadness can bring in illnesses as well, catching colds and flus and things like that, because it does affect our physical kind of things. But also, some people might lose interest in certain things, they want to do, but they don't want to do it anymore. And it's so many things that sadness the symptoms of sadness, and we could recognize it. And now the next thing I was thinking, well, what is the really benefits of sadness? Now, how is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think there's partly the positive side to that. I know people might say it's not. I think is when we are dealing with people and the loved ones and family members or friends or colleagues, and if we see those symptoms, we can be there for them and ask them what's wrong and be supportive, because a lot of people don't want to express how they're feeling. Maybe certain things happening in their lives and they can't talk to anybody. But if we see somebody sad, we could approach them and somehow offer assistance, and that's maybe what they need. So because of how they the symptoms that we're recognizing, we could try to help that person. Maybe they need help in certain things, and not everyone's great at expressing themselves if they're going through tough times, and sometimes we just see it in the face. I know that few people I know, they know me very well, and they see me happy, and suddenly, I'm not sad, but I know I might not look so happy at that point, and they would ask me what's wrong, talk to me and stuff like that. So in that sense, to me, it's a positive sign. Sadness if you recognize the sadness, we can help people. What's your thoughts on that, Annalika?
Yeah, it's very important to recognize sadness. I think especially when you have loved ones and maybe you do a lot for them and you're always the one keeping people happy, and if you're sad and they don't recognize, some of them might take offense, like, oh, you didn't even ask me how I'm sad, why I've not been playing or laughing and all that. So I think one of the most important things for us to go through sadness is because I always draw lessons from my faith. I'm a Christian, so even why we say Jesus is able to help us through life is that he himself has gone through all the phases of life that we are going through. So as human beings, when you have been through those experiences and emotions, then you are even more able to support someone else, or even offer the younger one or someone who is going through that for the first time. So I think that's one of the most important benefit of sadness, because you have been through, suppose you lost a pet or a loved one, or you went through a heartbreak or a bad relationship or whatsoever you have gone through, you are able to help another person who will pass through that, because such is life. there's time to be born, there's a time to die. So there's always going to be people going through the same things that some people have already gone through. So I think that's one of the most important things. You've really felt it, so you'll be more empathetic when you're dealing with someone else or advising someone else on that.
Thank you, Annalika, for that. That's really, really important. What you said is, we have to go through it ourselves to really grow and understand how other person is feeling as well. So because we've gone through that experience in life as well, and growing faith from our spiritual kind of teachings, and Fran, what about yourself? What's kind of thing you think is sadness? I mean, I know Annalika mentioned about growth and learning from it. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, our sad moments will help us to take correction as well. And for example, if somebody has spoken to you in a way that you don't like, not because they just want to, maybe because you've done something wrong, and because you don't want people to talk to you anyhow, so you need to take correction so that somebody don't speak to you in that manner again. Yeah, because some people, they'll be sad if you try to correct them. But in order not to be sad, then you have to push forward to get things right, especially in workplaces. Yeah, you don't want your colleague to correct you. You feel like they're buzzing you. So you need to now sit up and think about what to do ahead of time. Yeah, and again, it empowers us.
Yes,
for example, it empowers us because if you had booked an exam to write, and instead of studying, you were busy partying. Instead of studying, you were busy sleeping or going on social media. But that examination was going to lead to a certain qualification that is important to you, and you just failed the exam. I guess you are not going to be the happiest person. You'll be so sad, isn't it? And because you don't want to face that the second time, you need to sit up. That will empower you to even research, to work hard, to do whatsoever you can do to get yourself prepared. Yeah. So those things are the benefit of that moment that you were sad. Then again, you need to, because some people, they will not even realize what had happened. So it's important that you sit down and have a moment to think, to reflect. What happened? Why am I sad? So what should I do to prevent this happening again? So that moment of sadness, yes, it wasn't good at all, but you've learned your lesson if you wanted. So yeah, it's important. And
thank you, Fran. We're going to go to the tips to overcome sadness. It's just we don't have much time coming. You've got 10 minutes or so, but thanks for that. Prince Wasim, thanks for saying it's excellent. Thanks for your support and watching our show. I hope you come back on Monday as well, or next Thursday. But as Fran mentioned, it's about empowerment, and it's all we mentioned about growth, reflection. It actually makes us a better person because we all go through sadness, and it's how we manage our sadness, and knowing that it's only temporary, and knowing that that can opens up to having faith in a higher power, whatever you believe in, and then we could help other people because everybody goes through a similar, it's like a feeling of motion. Maybe the situation is different, but the feeling is the same sometimes, So it's actually gets us become better human beings in the sense of sadness wise. And we need to, whoever's going through sadness, who's maybe watching, and realize that, if you're going through this, if you need somebody to talk to or anything, if you're not don't find anyone to talk to, we're here for you as well. Just contact one of us, one of those lovely ladies and myself here as well, and we listen because we need somebody to listen. But let's talk about some of the tips to overcome sadness now. As I said, we've got 10 minutes quickly. We need to go over that. So, Annalika, what's some of your tips to overcome sadness?
Tips, I'll say first and foremost, you have to know that it's just one of the emotions we have to go through as human beings, and it's not there's nothing wrong with you. It will pass. So uh, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. So if you don't dwell on it, just know that it's going to pass. So I'll say, if you're good with writing and taking a journal, you can journal things down and just for your own benefit, so you learn from it. I'll say, do things that will make you happy. Play music. So yeah, you can play music, and there's a song about on Smile. It said, um, today's a good day, and it sang it all that. He said, even though you're hurt, even though I'm hurting, I'll smile. Even though I'm hurting, I'll smile. So because I know God's working. So it's not going to be forever. Whatever has happened is gonna pass. So just quickly, don't dwell on it, because when we dwell on it, we can go into depression. So find a hobby, do things that make you happy. Go spend more time with family. Don't lock yourself up. Yes, you're vulnerable, but you can spend time with people you confide in and you love and trust. Even going out to do charity work can make you come out of something that you're feeling. So you're not feeling, because sometimes it's because you're thinking so much about yourself. When you go out to help other people, you actually come out of it. And gratitude, anyway, there's so much, but I think, yeah, those ones would help. Being thankful for
Thank you.
good things. Yeah,
that sounds really good. And I'm thankful Chris Wasim for, he says sadness is only for short time, always looking forward to happiness, which is lovely, and making others happy, the best charge you could do. And his hobby is to make everybody happy, no matter what I can do. So he does. I mean, I saw this, I follow him on Facebook, and he does share a lot of happiness on Facebook and other social media. And this is what we really need to do. More people need to go out there rather than putting out fear, and all that is share happiness, and all this is great. So Fran, what tips can you give people to feel happier? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, don't just carry your burden on your shoulder. Try to lay it somewhere. Yeah, because just like what Tareka said, Jesus have taken away many burdens. So when those things come, don't think about them too much, because the more you think about a particular problem, the more sad you will be. Yeah. So another thing, some people say that when they are sad, they start cleaning.
That's a good one.
Some say, yeah, when they are sad, they go for a walk. Some people, when they are sad, they start to look for somebody to chat with, maybe on the phone. So I think as human beings, we all know what helps us when we are sad. Yeah. So it is important that we find that thing to do whenever you discover that you are sad. So try to do it, because sometimes if you're sad, you might think nobody noticed. Like we said before, it is a natural reaction. People will notice either from your reaction, even from your voice. Maybe sometimes when you speak, you will see the way, sometimes they say actions speak louder than voice, but in that situation, your voice might speak louder than your actions. So yeah, so let us try to find things that we like doing. You can sing song. Song is a good one. Yeah. I just remember maybe a worship song, a praise worship, and sing it, or any of the song that you like. Or you can play with, if you have something like children around you, just go. Try to make them happy as well. Then it will be
That,
transferred to you and you will be happy.
that's really good. I mean, Prince Wasim's been kind of watching us. Thank you for watching us. He said, I want to see all three of you smile, please. Now, who's not smiling on this list? Like, ladies, come on, keep smiling. And he said to Fran there as well, very well said, sister. And whenever I go sad, I start to dance. Dancing is one of the things, and I think it's a fantastic thing to dance as well. I would love Prince Wasim to share on his page. That would be really good, because I think, you know, if more people watch our shows, obviously we could make people laugh and smile as well. So we would really appreciate if you could share it on your page as well. That would be great. But as Annalika and Fran were saying, the benefits of what you can do, I mean, of sadness. One of the things I do when I'm feeling sad, first thing, I talk about meditation. I get up and first thing I open my eyes, I listen to music, I listen to positive videos, really positive stuff, and also meditate in the morning. And do you know what? My emotion, my thing changes. It just kind of changes within seconds when I listen to those things. And I mentioned about dancing. I love dancing, and singing is a fantastic way. But also knowing that sadness is only temporary. It won't, things do shift, and having a positive mindset and knowing you may be feeling sad at the present moment, knowing that everything's okay. It's where we are at the moment. If you're feeling sad, you say it's okay where I am. I'm just going through this emotion. It will pass, and that's what we really need to say to ourselves. It will pass, because and when we feel that, when we believe that, it will pass. And maybe taking a focus away from, maybe some people are sad because obviously they're worrying about somebody or something happened, and we focus on those things, we are getting more sadder. Maybe sometimes take the focus on to something else totally different, as Fran and all that was saying, is going for a walk, doing something totally different, start baking, things like that. Is take a focus. One of the things I love kids, children, young ones that, they'll make me laugh. I will interact with them and they will just, take me to a different place. My mind's not where I'm supposed to be. I'll become like a child playing with them. And that is one of the things that I do personally, takes away the sadness if I'm feeling down, and taking that focus, because the most important thing is it's all about just knowing that it will pass, and obviously Fran mentioned about earlier, sadness can lead to depression. Now that's a different level of deep emotions, and obviously then it's very important to seek advice, professional advice, and in all that side of it to help you before it gets to that point. We can shift it. If you have that sad at the base level, at the beginning, if we could shift it, and it's all about mindset. So yes, we got Prince Wasim saying, so I have to go. I will share on my Facebook. I will see it later. And all of you are doing a great job. So we got some, really appreciate that from you, Wasim. Really appreciate. Please keep watching our shows every week. Annalika, you got maybe a few seconds, and Fran, a few seconds to say before we go. Anything you want to say, Annalika?
I think we've said it. We've said the most things. It's just one of those things in life, and you go through it. You are able to comfort someone else who may be going through that. Don't dwell on it, because that's when it leads to depression. So if you're being sad for too long, just seek help. Speak to someone, and they go, so that you can be helped to come out of it. It means you're struggling to come out of it on your own. So don't stay quiet and keep it all to yourself, and stay blessed.
Thank you, Fran. Sorry, Annalika. Fran, yourself, anything you want to say? A few seconds.
Yeah, just to say, like last week we spoke that happiness help you not to have heart attack. So we need to understand that this is the opposite of it. The more you're being sad, definitely your heart, your joints, every place just feel washed, overwhelmed, and you'll be feeling pains, and it can lead to heart attack. So it is important we don't dwell on it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Fran, definitely one of the things is can lead to physical issues as well. So we need to be aware of that. It's an emotion. So emotion links to physical challenges. So thank you, ladies, for coming on. It's amazing. We're back on track. Every week we'll be coming back on. We will be posting it. Please share with your family and friends. I'm sure they will benefit from the show, and we would love you to just share it with everybody you know. The more you share, the more you care. If you care about somebody who's maybe going through this tough times and maybe benefits, please keep sharing it. And we're here to help. That's the main aim of all of us stable ladies here. If you want us to talk about any topic, some things that you want to know more about, please message us. If you want to talk to any of us, ladies, please contact us on our Facebook page. We're on Facebook and in other platforms as well. Thank you, ladies, for coming on. And I hope everybody has an amazing week. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.